The use of click tracks in recording is polarising. Some say that by recording to a click track rather than your own time or your drummer's time can result in an unnatural feel. Some insist that by not following a click, the music will feel livelier and more real and raw. I disagree. Recording to a click track, whether you're a solo artist or in a band, makes for a better result 99% of the time. In this video, I'm going to go over the 3 reasons why you should be recording to a click track, and at the end of the video, we'll talk about if there are any situations where it's not a good idea to record to one. Oh, and while you're watching, drop a comment in the comment section below. Are you pro or against click? And then see if your mind changes after this video. So firstly, I want to push back on the idea that recording to a click track will make it sound like your music isn't being played by a human. There are still going to be subtle nuances and timing differences. It's never going to be perfect, even if you are playing to a click. And especially compared to electronic music, and a lot of popular music uses samples and loops and things which are perfectly aligned to the BPM of the track. The subtle timing differences and mistakes and things that always end up happening when a human is playing an instrument or singing, they're still going to be there even with a click track. But the main thing is, of course, that you'll be in time, which is the first reason. Music that's in time, as long as it's not over edited, doesn't stick out as being doctored. It just comes across as though it's been played well. You can still get that live energy as long as you're playing with energy. Like I said, there are still going to be those nuances and those timing differences, and as long as things don't get overproduced after, then it's not going to sound lifeless. It sounds better and it feels better to the people listening and possibly dancing to the music. And the beauty of a modern DAW is that you don't have to stick to the same BPM throughout the whole thing. You can set it up beforehand so you can have BPM changes throughout your song. And the second reason is for editing purposes. In my eyes, a record that you're recording in a studio should be the best possible version of that song for preservation purposes and just so it sounds great on the radio. Live music is about experiencing that performance. But even with most live music today, they are playing to a click track, and it never feels like it's like you're watching robots playing. It always feels live if it's a great band you're watching, and that's what it's all about. Can the band put on a lively, powerful performance, even if they are playing to a click? You don't tend to notice it. And if you have recorded to a click, it makes editing so much easier. When I'm in the studio working with a band and they've recorded to a click, and if they want something moved around, like, oh, we don't want that drum fill there, actually, we want it back there, and they haven't got the studio time to re-record the whole drum take, just being able to find and chop it out and just put it in and know that it's going to be in time makes things so much easier, and they can get the best result possible. Editing isn't normally where we want to be spending our time during the creative process, and anything that speeds that up is a plus. And thirdly, time-based effects. So for time-based effects like delays and echoes, it's important to have those match the BPM of the song so they don't sound jarring and make the whole thing sound out of time. Having the audio recorded to a click makes this a lot easier to achieve. As soon as you drop the effect in, most delays will match up to the BPM set in your DAW. If you haven't recorded to a click, you can often set this up by tapping the tempo, but it's unlikely that that tempo is going to be exactly the same throughout the song. If you haven't played as a click, it might start to sound like it's slowing down or speeding up. And besides, it's just one extra process that you have to deal with. So are there any situations where it's not a good idea to play to a click? Well, there are going to be some types of music that it doesn't work for. If it's really free flow, if there's a lot of improvisation going on and the BPM changes a lot throughout, then playing to a click probably isn't going to work. And if you're recording musicians or yourself and you're just not comfortable with it, like it's throwing you off and it's making for a bad performance, like I've had this in the studio with bands before where they're just not comfortable with it and it's making it difficult for them to play. I'm not going to say you have to play to a click just for all these reasons. It's not essential. It just makes things a lot easier and a lot tighter if they are comfortable with playing to a click. So if you don't already use a click for your music and feel that it might help, then give it a go, see how you feel. It does take a little bit of time to get used to it if you don't typically use one. But like I said, ultimately it's not there to make you sound like a robot. It's just to keep you in time, to keep you focused, and to keep the results sounding professional. So let me know in the comments section below. Are you pro click or are you against click? It'd be great to find out what your thoughts are. And as always, for more recording and mixing tips and tutorials, just hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.